It's hard to earn a #1 spot in any form of medium due to the subjective opinions of the fanbase. My #1 might be different than yours and so on and so forth. But there's been one show that seems to be at the #1 spot on many a list. That anime is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. In fact, Fullmetal Alchemist is the #1 recommended anime on My Anime List, the website. The question is, does Fullmetal Alchemist deserve all the accolades, praise, and fanbase it has obtained? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ocean Planet. My name is WK, and today we're going to be talking about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Let's dive in.
この想いを消してしまうにはまだ人生長いでしょう。やり残してることをやり直してみたいから。
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is an anime adaptation of the manga by the same name, that was written by Hiromu Arakawa. It was produced by Studio Bones, being directed by Yasuhiro Ai, and written by Hiroshi Onogi. It was released in 2009 and ran until 2010. Fullmetal Alchemist is the story of two young boys, Edward and Alphonse. As a young, aspiring kids, they get into the art of alchemy. In this world, alchemy is more along the lines of magic than it is about herbs. Despite this, there's one law that the alchemists live by: equivalent exchange. For something to be gained, something of equal or greater value must be lost. Ed and Al learn this lesson all too well in an accident that causes Ed to lose his arm and leg, and Al to lose his whole body. This causes the brother duo to go on a quest to get their bodies back. Essentially, that's the main gist of the plot. During the show, the actual narrative portrayed is always in a constant flux. Plot points such as the mass murder of colonies, different alchemists with different abilities, corrupt government, taboos, and a shady organization all add layer and depth to the plot. Since the show has a longer episode list, you get to see not only an excellent and well-placed portrayal of the plot, but also a well-developed cast of individuals. In fact, characters are just one of the aspects of the plot that gets fleshed out so well that side, main, and one-shots are all given personality. Edward is actually the one who holds the title Fullmetal Alchemist, due to the prosthetics or automail that make up his arms and legs. Despite his very smart and philosophical demeanor, the one thing that gets under his skin is his height difference, which adds a lot of good comedy to the show during its serious parts. It's a fun reoccurring theme, and the gag really breaks the tension that the show brings. Edward Elric is one of those close-to-home characters. His love for his brother is so strong that emotions and physical portrayal seem real. I love Ed's resolve and just how true to his beliefs he stands. Alphonse, despite being a giant suit of armor, still holds a 12-year-old playful demeanor. It's actually kind of funny to see Al's voice being squeaky and high-pitched, coming out of something as manly as a suit of armor. Even though he is younger than Ed, him and his brother both have the same affinity to alchemy, meaning that Al is on par with the thought process of Ed. This proves to be very interesting as dialogue between the two is very clever, while still holding the mentality of their age. Though both these characters are the main protagonists of the show, the stories and backstories of the other characters and alchemists is also weaved perfectly into the narrative. Whether it's the flame alchemist Colonel Mustang, or his assistant Lieutenant Hawkeye, to the Iron Fist alchemist Armstrong, all have great dialogue between themselves. Some scenes focus on these characters and you get to see them in a new light, making your opinions change constantly. The emotions that each individual feels, especially anger and sadness, is caused by the opposing force, be it the corrupt government or the dark homunculi. All the homunculi are referenced by the 7 deadly sins, as they actually live out their role as such. The look of them or the manner they talk in give you a grim understanding of their motives. Animation is top notch, with the use of extreme attention to detail. Little lines on Ed's automail, amazing articulations on government buildings, or the waves of destruction caused by alchemy, all look incredibly well made. You could see the obvious change between the 2003 and the 2009 animation. Everything is just so breathtaking that you really start to oogle and ogle at anything on screen. Be it the horrid gruesomeness, or the bright snowscapes, deep deserts, or booming cities, your eyes are in for an absolute treat. Character design is also very well done, with each character looking individual enough. It really shines with the look of the seals on each individual alchemist. I couldn't even imagine trying to draw one of those seals, let alone make a whole regime of them. Sound is also top-notch, with loud cracks and sharp electricity being used for the alchemic movement. Along with this, backing music, though repetitive, works with the show well. For openings and endings, I thought that the endings were pretty weak. Opening 3 is probably the most average opening, being catchy, but my personal favorite is opening 1 by Yui, called Again. It starts off really light with soft vocals and quickly goes into a high-octane power chord heavy song. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is what I consider the first real anime I've ever watched. Yeah, when I was young I watched Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and Sailor Moon. But this was the first well-written, well-developed story that I fell in love with. Fullmetal is one of those animes you could tell someone to watch if they've never watched anime, and they will at least find something they like. I truly believe that as a series, Fullmetal Alchemist is worthy of its praise. Is it my number 1? No. But I can tell you, it's certainly up there. With all that being said, Fullmetal Alchemist gets an overall score of 10 out of 10. Once again, thank you guys all for watching, and until next time, keep swimming.